The United States of America was the greatest country before Trump, and it's the greatest country now after Trump. The white supremacists want to go back. They want to go back to the days when it was legal to own slaves.
You are about to be entertained by the ape, the young man who has become a legend of his own time. You want answers. I want the truth. You can't handle the truth.
No, and let the lies let the lies begin. What's going on, everybody? Hello, how are you? It's the Ron Kelly Show. It's Thursday, May 26, 2014. 2022. Wow, I'm about 8 years behind. Anyway, thank you so much, everybody, for joining me. It's the Ron Kelly Show, and it's on Facebook, it's on Twitter, and it's on YouTube Live as well. So thank you so much, everybody, for joining the program today. So if you care about Johnny Depp and Amber Heard, raise your hand. Those of you out there who really care about whether Johnny Depp kicked Amber Heard's ass or vice versa, for those of you who care, raise your hand. I should have the Jeopardy music playing. I don't see any hands. Exactly. Nobody gives a crap about whether Amber Heard, what Amber Heard and Johnny Depp did. Now, you guys remember Johnny Depp started out with the 21 Jump Street, what seems like a century ago. And in fact, he's the only one who went on to stardom. We all knew back then that Johnny Depp would be a big star, and he turned out to be one. And then he marries his chick, Amber Heard, who's quite a few years younger than he is. And so now they're suing back and forth. I mean, who gives a crap? Who cares? Okay, so welcome back, everybody. Thank you so much. Ronald McCready, my brother, thank you so much, my bro. I think all I need is 10 million more like you, and maybe I can not necessarily retire, but start doing something else. So welcome back, everybody. Thank you so much. Boy, you know, it's like one week, one shooting, second week, another shooting. Just unbelievable. Hello, Joanne Jackson. Hello, my sister. How you doing? Good to see you. Glad you're okay. And thank you so much for putting up with me for however long time that you've been putting up with me. But yeah, so we have another school shooting, and not another school shooting, but another shooting. And you know, we had the Buffalo shooting last week, and now we have the Uvalde school shooting, and you can't even say one is worse than the other one. I mean, with the body count at the Uvalde elementary school, it's a lot worse. And then, you know, you had children, fourth graders who were gunned down by this psychopathic maniac. And the jig is all up now. So anyway, yeah, so peace be upon those. And, you know, please stop posting those pictures of those kids, please. Because the mothers and fathers and relatives of those kids it's a possibility that they may be seeing what you're putting up. So yes, we get it. You know, we get the significance of posting the pictures of the children on Facebook, but please stop. Please stop posting pictures of those children on Facebook, as I said a little bit earlier. But okay, now the Ron Kelly Show live on Facebook. Thanks so much for Facebookers who are joining me. Also, the program is live on Twitter as well. The Twitter audience is growing. Thank you so much, Twitter. And Twitter, you can, and see, the good thing about Twitter is like you don't have to know anybody. See, because sometimes people will like what you say because they know you. Didn't even read it. Sometimes I just like people's stuff who I'm cool with because I'm cool with them. I haven't even read what they wrote. But in Twitter, I don't know anybody, which is good. Okay, so yeah, so the Ron Kelly Show live on Facebook. It's live on YouTube channel and on our Ron Kelly Show YouTube channel, and it's also live on Twitter. So yeah, so just a tragic circumstance, just a tragic situation we had a couple days ago, where these 19 people, 19 children, little kids. Can you imagine? 19 little kids and 2 teachers were killed by this psycho, this psychopath who goes by the name of. Did they put his name up there? Yeah, I'm not sure if they're putting his name up there. I don't see it here. But yeah. Very sad, very sad. Is he? And the sad, and what makes it even sadder is that nothing is going to be done. That's the problem. Nothing is going to be done. So so this is the 5th mass shooting in Texas over the last couple of years. So it seems like Texas has been the ground zero for these attacks. And this is just, it's just unspeakable. Just unspeakable. Uvalde, Texas, you guys know, was the site of a shooting. 19 children were killed, and the 2 teachers were wounded. So just unbelievable, unbelievable. Because you can't even imagine how could you walk into a school and just start shooting, or walk into any place, but especially a school where there's innocent little kids there, and you walk in and just start shooting. It's just unbelievable. It's just as unbelievable as it is in Buffalo, where my t-shirt's looking a little crazy there. Okay, where the folks who were killed in Buffalo, New York, just a couple weeks ago. Thank you to Suzanne Newman for watching the program. Salvador Ramos is 18 years old. Now, if it turns out that he was an immigrant or something, boy, this thing is going to explode. If it turns out that he was illegal, that he crossed the border and he doesn't have any papers, this immigration thing is going to explode. Suzanne Newman says, yeah, he did. Yeah, I know about that. He just turned 18 and he purchased a gun and the 350 rounds of ammo the next day, I believe it was, or the day after. And Suzanne Newman says he was a member of the community. Okay, but just unbelievable. And then we had an 18-year-old last week. Yeah, now he shot his grandmother, Susan. I don't know if he killed her, but he did shoot. I believe last I heard, yesterday or today, the grandmother's in critical condition, but I don't know if she actually died. So if anybody knows whether the grandma has passed on along with the rest of the folks from the school, Uvalde, Robb Elementary School, ROBB Elementary School in Uvalde, Texas. So this thing is going all kinds of crazy. And I'm going to, when I come back from the break, I'm going to talk about the confusion. When I come back from the break, I'm going to talk about the confusion with the timeline, because the cops are saying one thing and the dead bodies are saying something else. The teachers, the parents who were outside of that school are saying one thing and the cops are saying something else. There was another school shooting. Maybe my secretary, Suzanne, can look it up for me. Suzanne Newman, thank you so much for joining the show. There was another shooting where the police officer didn't go inside. There was a shooting that took place, I don't know if it was last year, the year before, where a police officer, matter of fact, was admonished for not going inside the school. Ronald McCready says shooting children is definitely out of the question. Shooting anyone is out of the question. And those teenagers running around with assault rifles and killing people, and these teenagers, I should say, are running around with assault rifles and killing people. Now, one gets away with it in court and another one gets to go to court, and the third one is killed. They haven't experienced life in full or at all yet, Ronald McCready, and they are killing people. Yes, it is just absolutely unthinkable that somebody would go walk into a school or any public place and kill folks at random. And so you have I can't even imagine the little kids running and hiding behind things that we all know is not going to stop a bullet. They might have hid behind a chalkboard or hid behind an easel or hid behind a paper box or something like that. Well, we know is not going to stop a bullet, but in their desperation, in which they probably did know, and in their desperation, what they did was they just ran behind anything, not even realizing that whatever it was that they ran behind wasn't going to stop that bullet. So it's just unbelievable, unconscionable. And when we come back from our break, we're going to discuss the timeline, because the parents are saying stuff that, the parents are saying stuff that doesn't sound too flattering for the police. And some of the parents, well, you know what? We'll get to it. I don't want to spoil it right now. We'll get to it. And we'll also get to your comments. You can comment on the Ron Kelly Show on Facebook. You can comment on Twitter, and you can comment on YouTube if you're not a Facebook person. So we're going to get into that. We'll get into the timeline. We'll get into why what parents are saying and why. We'll get into all of that today. Thank you so much to the Twitter people are starting incrementally. The Twitter listener viewers it's incrementally coming up. So thank you so much, everybody. The folks who are watching the Ron Kelly Show on Twitter, also the YouTube people, and the folks on Facebook. Now we'll get into Instagram and all that other good stuff very soon. Thank you to the people who follow my TikTok. And no, I'm not showing no penis prints or anything like that. I'm not showing any penis prints on my TikTok. So if that's what you're looking for, you can forget it. But there's plenty of dudes there who do, though, for whatever reason. Suzanne Newman says that was Parkland, like the safety officer was charged. The safety officer was charged. Right. The Parkland shooting, and now another shooting that took place in Texas. And it's the weirdest coincidence that the NRA, Wayne LaPierre and the radical gun owners, which I am not a part of, although I am a gun owner, the radical gun owners who are members of the NRA. Now, this NRA convention, the yearly convention, is taking place this week, I believe it was. This week or next week. I'm not 100% sure. I'll look it up. But in some of the mayor, the governor, Greg Abbott, the governor of Texas, is planning on showing up. Despite what just happened in his state. Despite what just happened in his state. Shout out to Steve Mayrant, my brother from another mother, who says tomorrow. Okay, tomorrow is the NRA convention. The Radical Gun Owners Association, headed up by Wayne LaPierre. Now, I thought the NRA had been destroyed, but I guess not, because they went through, I think the Attorney General went through it like a SWAT team, and they lost a lot of money, and there's a whole lot going on, but it seems that they're still alive. Maybe not well, but still alive. So former President Trump is going to be there. Who cares? And Greg Abbott, the governor of Texas, will be there as well. Now, you think he would try to step down after what just happened in his state and what continues to happen in his state. But oh no, they pledged their allegiance to the NRA, and they will certainly be there. Now, there's been a couple of people who had decided that they didn't want to go. They're not being honest about why they're not going. They just been coming up with some excuse and saying that they're not going. Shout out to Ronald McCready, says no guns allowed because Trump is going to make a speech. Well, probably, yeah, I certainly can see that they're not going to have any guns at the convention, and they shouldn't have any guns at the convention. They shouldn't have any guns at the convention. Okay, so before we go to break, it's still got a couple minutes left. I have to let you guys know that the views and opinions expressed here, right here, are exclusively those of myself and R. Kelly Media Enterprises, LLC, which is the parent company of the Ron Kelly Show, and are not those of my advertisers or my support team. And shout out to my people at Amaker and Porterfield Transportation. I'll tell you about them, more about them at the break. So it's 15 minutes. The show is 16 minutes old. You're watching the Ron Kelly Show, and it's on blogtalkradio.com, the Ron Kelly Show.com, Facebook Live, Twitter Live, and YouTube Live. All three, we are there like swimwear. And when we come back from the break, we're going to tell you about the timeline and what the parents are saying about the police and what they did and what they didn't do. So we'll talk about that as soon as we come back from our break. So let's do that. Let's do that real quick. Let's take our break, and we'll come back and we'll talk more about this. And it's a couple of things I need to get to. So listen, so it's 17 minutes past the hour. You're listening to or watching the Ron Kelly Show, and it's on blogtalkradio.com, RonKellyShow.com, Facebook Live, Twitter Live, and YouTube Live. We'll be back in just a second. Don't you touch that dial. Yes, indeed, I am the man. What a news cycle this is. This guy has got to go. Trump has got to go. George Floyd snuffed out by this police officer who's supposed to be serving and protecting people.
It's the Ron Kelly Show.
Alrighty then, we are back. It's the Ron Kelly Show, and it's on blogtalkradio.com, the Ron Kelly Show.com, Facebook Live, Twitter Live, and YouTube Live as well. And we're going to get to, matter of fact, it's playing now. Let me stop it right there.
And those parents were hearing
Texas school shooting. With all the parents reportedly
technical. Okay, cool. All right, there you go. All right. Okay, there we go. All right, we are back, everybody. Thank you so much for joining me. It's the show is 20 minutes old, and you're listening to or watching the Ron Kelly Show, and it's on Facebook Live, it's on Twitter Live, and it's on YouTube Live as well. Yeah, shout out to Amaker and Porterfield. Amaker and Porterfield is one of my paid advertisers, you know. So no, I'm not going to mention your stuff on the Ron Kelly Show. And no, I'm not the biggest show in the world. But, you know, there's always hope. Anyway, in any case, Amaker and Porterfield Transportation has been providing safe, reliable, clean transportation for 42 years since 1980. And boy, 1980 doesn't seem that far away, but yeah, 1980 was 42 years ago. Oh my God, we're all gonna die. 42 years ago. I'm not gonna say how old I was back then, but yeah, 42 years ago, Amaker Porterfield has provided safe, reliable transportation to and from your destinations. They provide transportation to schools. They provide school buses, charters, medical transportation, party bus, you name it. Amaker and Porterfield can see to your needs. Amaker and Porterfield transportation is located at 307 Arlington Avenue and 307 Arlington Avenue in Plainfield, the great city, the Queen City, they like to call it. I'm not sure why. The Queen City of Plainfield, New Jersey. Reach out. Yeah, I'll give you the phone information a little bit later, but for right now, it's amaker.porterfield@verizon.net. That's amaker.porterfield@verizon. Oh God, .net. In any case, everybody, welcome back. Wow, just a horrific situation at the Robb Elementary School in Uvalde, Texas, where this psycho, thank you, Suzanne Newman, for updating me on that, this psychopath, Salvador Ramos. Now, don't let this, well, Suzanne Newman says he was a member of the community, so he must have been born here. So, okay. But now, if Ronald McCready is, yeah, Ronald McCready, my brother from another mother, went to school with Ronald McCready years ago. Yeah. Anyway, welcome back. It's the Ron Kelly Show, and it's on blogtalkradio.com. Shout out to my people at Arenaza's Tax Service. Arenaza's Tax Service. I know the tax time is just about over, but Arenaza's Tax Service. I'll give you some information on Jose and Arenaza's Tax Service a little bit later on in the program. But in any case, it's 25 minutes past the hour. And welcome. Thank you so much for joining me. Thank you, Steve Mayrant, for the thumbs up. Steve Mayrant, thank you for the thumbs up, my brother. Appreciate you. Appreciate your support over the years. I just appreciate all of y'all. Okay. So 725 in the East. Yeah. 725 in the East. It's 325 in the West. I finally get that right. Yeah, 725 East, 325. I believe they're 3 or 4 hours behind. Excuse me, behind us in Los Angeles, right here in the New York metropolitan area. It's the Ron Kelly Show. Ronald McCready says he's laughing because he said we're all going to die. You know what? We are all going to die. You know, we are all going to die. And think of all the people who have died that you've known in your adult life, all the people who have died, and the people who have died, and, you know, it's the shock, the initial shock, and then it's the initial shock, and then we process it, and then we just, you know, move on. Because I've known a lot of people in my life who have died, and we just move on. Or death is an illusion, or maybe they just get close to death, like Lamont Gates and his show NDE Near Death Experience. I mention Lamont every week. I wonder if he mentions me on his radio show. I'm going to listen and see, because if he doesn't mention me, I'm going to stop mentioning him. Lamont Gates, death is an illusion. Okay. Death is an illusion says there wasn't no illusion at that school, though, Lamont Gates. That was no illusion. That was real. But thank you for your input. Thank you, Steve Mayrant, my brother. Appreciate you. All right, it's and so shout out to the Twitter fans, the Ron Kelly Show on Twitter Live, the Ron Kelly Show on YouTube Live, and the Ron Kelly Show, of course, on Facebook, where it all began. So the issue, I mean, big issues down in Uvalde, Texas, where the Robb Elementary School shooting took place. And the parents are frustrated with the way the police responded to the mass shooting at Robb Elementary School that left 19 children and 2 teachers dead, according to the latest reports. Now, on Thursday, the Uvalde Police Department's chief released a statement saying his officers responded to reports of a shooter within minutes alongside school district officers. 2 responding officers sustained gunshot wounds. Now, how the heck? I mean, you know, I'm not a stop the police or defund the police or anything like that. I am not one of those people. But this is an 18-year-old kid who winds up, who probably, who knows, may not have a whole lot of experience with a firearm, especially a sophisticated firearm like a AR. And shoots 2 responding police officers. So that right there, for me, tells me, like, wait a minute now, something was going on with this. Something was going on because Lamont Gates says death is an illusion. Okay. So, and you know what? And I will answer, you know, I'll make an effort. I will answer sidebar, everybody. I will answer all of your comments. I will try to answer your comments as we make our way through the Ron Kelly show. Yeah. So the school, the parents of the, and there was so many, and see, the problem is there was so many different agencies there. You had the Border Patrol, you had the Texas Rangers, you had Texas Department of Public Safety, you had the Uvalde Police, you had, I mean, there was so many different police agencies there. There's no way that it could have been kept under control, because you had a guy inside a school who was shooting, and that just raised the level of panic, like to a significant pace. And there were so many different police aides. I mean, how the heck did the Border Patrol get there? How close is Uvalde to the border between Mexico and the United States of America? But what they are saying, the Uvalde police chief, Daniel Rodriguez, is saying that this is an ongoing investigation that's being led by the Texas Rangers. So the Texas Rangers, I understand questions are surfacing regarding the details of what occurred. I know answers will not come fast enough during this trying time, but rest assured that with completion of the full investigation, I will be able to answer all the questions that we can, close quote. That was a statement of Uvalde Police Department Chief Daniel Rodriguez. Now, Angeli Rose Gomez, who is a parent of 2 children in 2nd and 3rd grade at Robb Elementary, told Wall Street Journal that Texas Rangers arrested her for intervening in an active situation after she and other parents urged police to enter the school building while the suspect was believed to be inside. So Angeli Rose Gomez says, and I quote, "The police were doing nothing. They were just standing outside the fence. They weren't going in there or running anywhere," close quote. So, yeah. So now there's an issue that these people, there's an issue where the parents who were standing outside the school are saying that the police officers stood outside with them and didn't do nothing. And there was 30-minute, 45-minute delay between the police arriving there and then them actually engaging the shooter. So why did it take so long for the police. And again, there was so many different police departments there. There was a sheriff's department, Uvalde Police, Texas Rangers, Texas Department of Public Safety, Border Patrol. I mean, there was so many different, and then you had an active shooting going on. So there's no way that there could have been any type of, order when you got 5 or 6 different police departments showing up to one scene where there was an active situation inside the building. Joanne Jackson says it's just not safe to go anywhere. They're shooting at churches, the grocery stores, and the schools. It's just sad. And that's 100% right, Joanne Jackson. And it is sad because I love going to festivals, house music festivals. You see, but this is, and I don't want to make this about black folks and white folks. I don't want to make this about black folks and white folks. But see, black folks, the difference between black folks and white folks, because white folks will shoot randomly at people they don't know. See, with black folks, when a black person shoots another black person, they mean it. And I always like to say, well, I don't like to say it, but I always like to say that black people shoot people that they know. We don't shoot strangers. We shoot people that we know. Now, somebody else might get caught in the crossfire, but black folks shoot people that they know. White people shoot at random. Joanne Jackson says one of the teachers that was shot and killed, I heard today that her husband passed from a heart attack. Wow, that's unbelievable. Passed from a heart attack. So okay, one of the teachers got killed and the husband passed from a heart attack. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Steve Mayrand says that unfortunately, Ron, if I may speculate, they were witnessing the new domestic terrorism protocol. Self-preservation, if I may, they have to evaluate a situation to assure it's not secondary attack against first responders. Well, yeah, okay. But if you're a police officer, like if I was I'm an armed security officer, and I may not be a police officer, but I can't. I would have went in that building and tried to stop this psycho from killing these kids. I mean, what else can you do? What else can you do? Because if it took 30 to 45 to 1 hour before they engaged this Ramos character, that's unbelievable. And you can understand why, because what they're saying is but the parents were outside, and they said, as I said, Angelique Rose Gomez, she was a parent. I don't believe either one of her 2 children. She had 2 children. Angelique Rose Gomez, one was in the 2nd grade and one was in the 3rd grade at Robb Elementary. And she said that the police were not doing anything. So the timeline is all jacked up because from what the reports are, Fox News of all people, the onlookers were shouting for the police to go in there. Go in there, go in there. Onlookers shouted at the officers soon after the attack began, said Juan Carranza, 24, who saw the scene from outside his house across the street from Robb Elementary School in the close-knit town of Uvalde. Carranza said the officers did not go in. Now, Javier Cazares, whose 4th grade daughter, Jacqueline Cazares, was killed in the attack, said he raced to the school when he heard about the shooting, arriving while police were still gathered outside the building. Now, upset because the police were not moving in, he raised the idea of charging into the school with several other bystanders, which is definitely what I would have done. That's what I would have done. I mean, I'm not a police officer. I don't have the training that a police officer has, but common sense is your best weapon in any situation. Common sense is your best weapon. I believe that Steve Mayrand would agree with me on that. Steve Mayrand also being an armed agent. Yeah. 25 minutes before the hour. So do I need more light? Probably. So yeah. So the controversy is that there were police officers outside while the psycho was inside. That's the evaluation. Now, I would have went in. I would, and I know, no, you can't say what you would have done, but I believe that I would have done. I would have done it. I would have went inside. The police could have sat out. I mean, I would have found something that says security so they don't shoot me. Maybe grab my windbreaker or something that says security on the back, or a shirt that said security on the back, so they don't shoot me, which they might shoot me anyway. But that would give them some kind of indication that I was a good guy, that I was one of the good guys. So so the controversy is that just like the Parkland shooting, the controversy is that the police, law enforcement took too long before they went inside the building. That's the controversy right now. The law enforcement took too long to go inside the building, and then maybe there might have been some. There might have been maybe not that much a loss of life that there was if the police had went in. If the police had gone in sooner. So, and once again, I want to point this out. Steve Mayrant sent me this message. Unfortunately, if I may speculate, they were witnessing the new domestic terrorism protocol. Self-preservation, if I may, they have to evaluate the situation to ensure it's not secondary attack against us. But I still don't think that they should have sat outside. I don't care what kind of protocol you're talking about. I mean, you gotta, you trained, you go to the academy. I've been to the academy. I see what they go through. I had training through the academy, and I know what they go through. I know what's expected, and they should not have sat outside that school. They should not have sat outside that school and waited. I just don't agree. Unless they have a real good reason, and not because it wasn't safe, because that's your job, to run into, to go into unsafe situations. That's your job, especially when there's children who are vulnerable to being shot and killed, as the 19 of them were. And the good thing is, CREEP wasn't better organized, because more children probably would have died. Joanne Jackson says, I don't care either. When they got that call over their radio from the attack that was going on at that elementary school, that was their job, to go in there and try to help those kids out of there. Exactly. And if I was down there and I'm a licensed gun owner, licensed to carry a firearm, I would have gone in there and done something. Shout out to Steve Mayrant that says, that's like a fireman waiting until the fire goes out, in a burning building. No, you go into that burning building while it's burning. Now, if it's a situation where the stairs have all burned away and you can't get inside, that's different. But this wasn't that. This was a situation where the building was not on fire, and they could have gone in there and did what they needed to do to get those kids out of there, maybe to stop this creep from killing any more kids. I agree totally, 100%, Joanne Jackson. When they got that call and when they got there, they should have went in. You don't wait. You should have went in. Now, if they have a way to tell me, if they can explain to me why they waited and it's reasonable enough, maybe I will, digress. But for right now, as Steve Mayrant says, it's like a fireman waiting until the fire goes out before he goes into a burning building. No, you go into that burning building now. You go now. All right, we'll take a break. It's just a little bit less than 20 minutes before the hour. So we'll take a break, everybody. We'll be back in a few minutes. Live on Facebook, live on YouTube, live on Twitter. You're listening to The Ron Kelly Show. All right, everybody, welcome back. Boy, I sounds like a John Wayne movie, don't it? I may have to change that. Anyway, welcome everybody. It's the Ron Kelly Show, and it's on live on YouTube, live on Twitter, and live on Facebook as well. Ronald McCready says, so that means they didn't do their job. Well, I want to hear from the law enforcement officers who were there. I want to hear what their rationale was for not going in that building and why parents were outside trying to urge them to go into that building. I want to hear what their rationale is. I mean, I don't want to condemn them right away. Let me hear the rationale. Let me hear why you felt or why you decided not to go into the building. And then we'll take it and then we'll banty it back and forth from there. That's how we'll do it. That's how we'll do it. Okay. Because I don't want to condemn the police right away. I get it that this was a volatile situation. I mean, I get it. I get it that it was a volatile situation. I definitely get that. But I get it that it was a volatile situation. I get it that there were, multiple. I get it that there were multiple police agencies there. I mean, I get that. I get that. But this thing, if that's, and I don't want to say. Like, right, I don't want to say that they didn't do that. I mean, you just don't want to say that right now at this. If that's, and I don't want to say like, oh Jesus, you don't want to. I don't really want to say that they didn't do their job, right? I don't want to say that. Do their job, right? I don't want to say that. Okay, sounds like I'm gonna. Yeah, okay. I was just watching the Ron Kelly Show on YouTube, and for those of you who are not Facebook fans, you can go to YouTube too and log onto the Ron Kelly Show Facebook page and YouTube situation, and you can watch the Ron Kelly Show. Okay, 15 minutes before the hour. So Ron McCready says, was the call about a bomb? No, the call was a shooter, and they didn't do their job. I don't want to say right off the bat they didn't do. I don't want to say that, but I welcome and I love my audience, and you can say whatever you want to say. And Ronald McCready says, was the call about a bomb? No, the call was a shooter, and they didn't do their job. And I don't, and I have to agree, Ronald McCready, they shouldn't have. I mean, if what these people are saying is true, if what these folks are saying, the folks who are outside of the school, if what they are saying is true, then that's a problem. Because they probably felt like they had to assemble and they had to get a game plan together before they went in that school. So if there were 3 or 4 different police agencies at that school, I'm saying I'm not to give them an excuse, but they probably thought that they needed some kind of plan before they went in there. But there's no plan. I mean, you got children who are the most vulnerable. First to fourth graders, third and fourth graders who are vulnerable. And so, I guess it depends on what side of the aisle, not aisle. I don't want to make this political, which they already have, but it depends on what side of this you're standing on. If you're standing on the law enforcement side, you're going to say, okay, yeah, maybe they needed to stand out there and get a plan together because there were so many different agencies and they didn't want to just rush in there without a plan. And then on the other side of it is, the civilian side, where a civilian says, that they should have just rushed in there because you're thinking of the children and you're making an emotional statement when you say that they should have just rushed in there. But if they had any problems about a bunch of them rushing in there, send one. One person going in would have made for a lot less confusion. Suzanne Newman says that yes, I agree. I think they were waiting for SWAT. There's no time to be waiting for SWAT. You got a bulletproof vest on. You can put on the helmet, the Kevlar helmet, and you go in there. Now, if they would have sent one person, at least one, it would have been less noise. The shooter would have been less aware of exactly where that person was. I would have went in there. If I had to take my shoes off, I would have went in there. Suzanne Newman says there's always fear for causing collateral damage. This guy, Mr. Ramos, Suzanne, killed 19 children and 2 teachers. Salvador Ramos, 18 years old, killed 19 people, 19 children who were just starting out their lives, getting ready to go to summer go home for the summer and enjoy a summer vacation, to go back to school in September, I believe, or whatever it is, the time that the school opens in that area. It's just unbelievable that this Salvador Ramos. I mean, what possesses the mind of a person? What possesses the mind of a person to kill innocent children? Suzanne Newman says there's always a fear of causing more collateral damage. Yeah, there was, but I think in this case there was enough damage. The damage that was done wasn't collateral. But in this case, save the children. Absolutely. There you go. You can disagree with me now. I don't have a problem with that. Suzanne Newman also says, I understand that. I think they should have responded. Yes. Ronald McCready says the damage was done already, Sue. Well, I don't know about that one, Mr. McCready, but I guess I probably would try it if it was one of my children. If I had children that young right now who got killed in that, I probably would have tried to exert some pain on the Uvalde, Texas school district. Yeah, so 10 minutes before the hour. So yeah, I think that, and see, we couldn't even get past, we barely got past the Buffalo shooting where, boom, here we go now with this. America is the capital, the world capital for random mass shootings. Because this kind of stuff doesn't happen anywhere else. It doesn't happen in Japan. I think I saw somebody put a post up that the last time there was a mass shooting in England, for example, it was 12 years ago, and 5 people died. Now, those 5 deaths, we don't take lightly. Peace be upon those folks who died in that incident. I believe that was the where they went and shot up the newspaper. I believe that was the newspaper. It was in it's 2010. It was just 12 years ago. So this stuff doesn't happen anywhere else. It doesn't happen in England. It doesn't happen in France. It doesn't happen in Germany. It doesn't happen in the United Kingdom. It doesn't happen it only happens here. It doesn't happen in Japan or China or Russia. It only happens here. You see, because there's about 9 minutes left to the hour. Like I've said, America, the Constitution sometimes works against us. Ronald McCready says it's off the chain. Suzanne Newman says the U.S. has the highest rate of mass shootings, generally by white men with legal gun purchases. And see, and she's 100% right that is an issue. But you see, this stuff doesn't happen in other places. It doesn't happen in, because we're talking about random shootings. We're talking about somebody going into a place where they don't know anybody, and for some crazy reason, they start shooting. This is what's going on. This is what happens. This is what happens. So, and this happens in America more than any place else. It happens in America more than any place else. You see, because I've talked about this and people kind of looked at me like I was crazy. But the United States of America is too free. I do believe that the United States of America is too free. Because this stuff doesn't happen anywhere else. Now, I'm not saying that they should take our freedoms away. I'm not saying that. But Ronald McCready says they don't have shootings, they blow things up. Well, who is they? Who is they, Ronald McCready? Who is they? Now, if you tell me who they is, we can definitely get into that. But this stuff doesn't happen anywhere else. It only happens here in the good old USA. It only happens here. So, so is it the mindset of Americans that contribute? Because, is it the mindset of Americans that contributes to this random gun violence that we see here? There's 400 million guns in America. And there's 330 million people. So that means that there's 70 million guns. Oh my God. There's 70 million extra guns right here in the United States of America. Ronald McCready says they don't have shootings, they blow things up. Well, I want to know who they is, and then we can take it from there. Aaron Nazar's check out Aaron Nazar's. If you still have not filed your taxes, look up Aaron Nazar's tax service, and Jose Arenazes will take care of you personally. Okay, now Ronald McCready says we only got a couple minutes left, so and sorry about that. The terrorists of the world. Well, we'll see. So if so, what was this? And so what was this? What was this? Was this terrorism? Was this domestic terrorism? Ronald McCready? So what was this? What was this? What was this? I would like to know. So peace be upon those. Because like I said, I'm tired of, I'm tired of keeping people in my prayers. I'm sick of it. It's not that I don't want to pray for people. That's not it at all. But you just get tired. Guns, gun violence, situation after situation, shooting after shooting. You just get tired. You just get tired. I didn't really say much about this at all on Facebook because you get tired. Some people don't, but you get tired of watching this, this carnage take place week after week. I mean, the smoke just barely cleared from the top supermarket in Buffalo where this filthy white man killed 10 African Americans just because they were black. Just because, no other reason, just because they were black. And he makes the decision to kill these people because they were black. Unbelievable. So now we, turn the page, the very next week later, and now we have this 19 children, 2 adults murdered by this psychopath, Annabelle Ramos, who is dead too. So that closes the chapter on that. But the young filthy white man who killed the folks in Tops is going to wish he was dead. He's probably going to spend the next, and he was only 18 too, so he's got a lot of years. If nothing happens, he's got a lot of years to sit in jail and contemplate what he did. Suzanne Newman says prayers are all good and well, but action and change is needed. Prayers are not going to stop this craziness. Absolutely. Absolutely. So, I'm with you, Suzanne Newman. Prayers are good and well, but I'm tired of praying. I'm tired of, I'm tired. Just tired of the whole damn thing, of keeping people in my prayers. I'm tired. Because prayers, and I'm not joining on with, I had a guest a few weeks ago, a couple of months ago, Kyle Butler. I'm not agreeing with him, but prayers are not stopping the carnage. And I'm not getting into whether God is good and God exists and all that stuff. No, I'm not getting into that. But action and change is needed. Prayers are not going to stop this craziness. Absolutely not, Suzanne Newman. Prayers are not going to stop the carnage of these 19 young children who were killed by this maniac who also lost his life in the carnage. I wanted him to live. I want them all. I want him to sit in prison forever. Lamont Gates says, let's get into it. I'm not sure what Lamont Gates means, but I usually do, but not in this circumstance. Okay. All right. It's a couple minutes before the hour, everybody. I want to thank you so much for joining me. Thank you to my Facebook audience. Ron Kelly Show on Facebook Live, Ron Kelly Show on YouTube Live, and Ron Kelly Show, of course, on Twitter Live. I want to thank everybody who partakes of the Ron Kelly Show every week. So thank you again. Thank you. We'll see you back here next time for another edition of the Ron Kelly Show. And Lamont, I can't get into that right now. I've only got about 30 seconds left of the program, but I will next week. If you remind me, I will get into that. So thank you, everybody. Thank you so much. If you missed the Ron Kelly Show, if you want to watch any Ron Kelly Show, each Ron Kelly Show is recorded, and you can go to YouTube, you can go to Twitter, or you can go to Facebook, or you can go to my Facebook page, the Ron Kelly Show on Facebook, and you can watch any one of a number of programs that have been recorded. Okay, thanks so much, everybody. I'm out. I like to say it's nice to be important, but it's more important to be nice, and that we may not have it all together, but together we can certainly have it all. Thank you so much. I think I'm done.